And spawning up in the top right for Basilisk in the Protoss pieces. It is Reynor!
And in the bottom left-hand side, not for Navi, but Onsite Gaming, it is the GSL champion, Solar!
Ooh. We have something real interesting from Reynor right out of the gate. He went for the denial on the gold-based. He went for the denial on the gold base, and you can see with the minerals in hand, both of them carrying their Christmas gifts towards, but one of them is in triumph, having denied that gold base. The other one, not so much. That is more in defeat.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely brilliant. It's just knowing what his opponent is very likely to do on this particular map. As soon as I saw it, I mean, the gold base is just so appetizing. It's so easy to take because it's kind of a relatively short distance. If you just take, the straight path here from that corner, difficult to explain now, but from the corner, leaving your base to the mineral patch, it's a straight line pretty much. It's right there. It's a very short distance. It's a straight line pretty much. And then just a little bit of a deviation towards the gold base. So it's a very narrow path, and you can take it very fast. If you get a few links, you can break those rocks very fast as well. I think it's only 500 HP or so. So it's a very attractive gold base, and clearly Reynor knows that Solar likes it, so good deny.
Yeah, it's even less. It's 400.
Nice.
Just a real cheap kill on that. And then you have to contest with the fact that your opponent is going to be able to send Lings potentially on the counterattack if you try and punish it with an Adept, because obviously the Adept cannot cover your natural and also be able to harass the gold. Yeah. So it creates a really uncomfortable situation, and if you let the Zerg get away with the gold base, then you're just letting their economy get supercharged. It's really not a comfy position. So like you said, honestly, phenomenal read from Reynor and a really smart game plan going into this.
Yeah, it's extra painful for Solar because when you get to the gold, you just assume that you're going to take it. You're not really looking for the probe denial like you are on most other cases, right? Where you're looking for the probe, did it arrive at the natural or not? And you kind of have a response, or you have already accounted for the time that it will take you to take your third, to get that drone to your third and drop it. Here, he probably had to get the drone from his main right away and just lose out on the time that he wasn't able to, to make up for by not dropping the gold base.
Yeah, you pull it, I think you pull it about 12 to 15 seconds earlier. I'm trying to remember. I think I pull it at 22 seconds to try and start that up. Funnily enough, I don't actually know when you pull the drone for the other thing. I just know that it's about 185 minerals if you're not anticipating the block. It's like maybe 120, 130 if you're anticipating the block.
Yeah.
And then even then, there's like little variants you can do where, you try and you go straight up to 17 drones, etc. It all depends on a little bit of stylistic differences, but it is worth noting that it is more of a cut to the economy, just a little bit more, but it is notable. Now this is cool. We've got a Phoenix opener into the Oracles. This is how he started when he beat Serral.
They're nasty, the Phoenix units. I mean, all Zergs fear them. The Protoss unit, the Protoss players don't often make the Phoenix, but in this case, it's just looking around for Overlords. It's basically doing the same thing that a Void Ray would do, except much faster. And now, I mean, it's gonna go and pair up with the Oracle, so it can also deny the damage output of one Queen on offense. So yeah, it's a very effective unit, the Phoenix, and here we go. One Queen is gonna get lifted off, the other one can be fought, or the drones can be gone after, and 3 of them, 4 maybe, are gonna fall in the process. Reynor needs to be a little bit better at focus firing and actually loses the Oracle. That's a major blunder.
Yeah, that looked so nice initially.
Lag.
That was very unfortunate actually for Reynor right there. The clicking wasn't quite perfect, and then he kind of hung around a little bit long. Hopefully it's not like a hotkey issue or something, but he's good to go again.
Yeah.
We got to talk about what is on the production tab, though. We've got a very quick Twilight Council. Normally, I would say this is absolutely Blink. Oh, Ling's getting into the main base. That's very good for Solar, and that is going to be a pretty darn quick scout, and it will, in fact, be Blink, but this is quite a disruption.
Yeah, because beyond the scout, which is already plenty of value for these Lings to get, you also get a probe, and you also pull the Adepts back. You're fully aware of what's going on. A big probe pull as well in the process. Another probe will go down. I mean, That plus the Oracle getting killed off, and Solar not having had to invest into Spore Crawlers even, puts him in a fantastic position to start off.
Yeah, and yeah, honestly, it puts him into a really nice start. I do wonder if Reynor was intending to maybe go for a big Glaive Adepts play right before those Lings got into the main base. He hadn't started up what was going in on the upgrade. He did get the Twilight Council before the third gas. We'll never know now. I mean, theoretically, you could ask him in a winner's interview, but obviously that has been disrupted. But we got to talk about what is coming. It is a German taxi coming out of Solar. Now, Reynor, because he went for the relatively quick third and fourth gas, that is a pretty decent setup against this and the fast blink. But this is going to be rather tough to hold with some of the early damage he's taken.
Yeah, he's going to see it coming, though, so I'm not sure that this is the best way to go about things for Solar. I mean, it's very difficult to attack into this much Protoss production here, and Reynor is already adding the shield batteries as well, so he will have a little bit of time. If he can just disengage here, Blink is nearly done, 1 second away. Now he should be able to blink away if he wants to. Maybe one more volley onto the Links and then get out. He has to blink. Blink is ready. Hello? There's the Blink. Buys himself as much time as possible. Now the shield battery overcharge will go down, and this should buy enough time for the rest of the shield batteries here to finish on the side of Reynor. Next Warpin should be coming up soon, an Immortal in production, and Solar will continue to reinforce with everything that he can.
That he will. The battery overcharge is about to expire. There are more, well, there's a cannon coming online. There's still a little bit of battery energy, but this is looking very dangerous. The creep drop helping out a lot, but these Queens are starting to run out of energy. However, Reynor is starting to run out of units, and Solar says, you know, I've seen your Protoss, and quite frankly, I don't want to go to the late game against it, but he is looking like he will not need to here.
It certainly is looking that way. There's a lot more Links in production and a lot more Links already on the way. So this third is very likely to be forfeit for Reynor. If this can extend long enough to where you get a second shield battery overcharge, then maybe there is yet hope. The Immortal would make a massive difference here, but not if it gets surrounded, and it will. The Stalkers are forced to abandon the Immortal, and that means the rest of the defenses for Reynor here will also have to be abandoned. That's extra 3 pylons as well that he cannot hold on to, so a lot of investment into holding this third. He has to hold at this point, and it looks very unlikely.
Yeah, that is a nice nice bit of positioning. Reynor really trying to draw Solar into an overcommitment on the natural expansion, but Solar's not going to fall for it. He's already droning out of this. He knows he's done plenty of damage, and Reynor will display some nice blink micro at the end, and he's going to clean up all this creep, but Solar comes out of this massively ahead.
Yeah, he certainly does. Now Reynor on the chase does manage to get himself 1 Roach. 22 probes fall in that altercation, as well as a few pylons, some shield batteries as well. And Solar is just taking up like a madman right now. So I like the idea here for Reynor. He is going to look into higher tech himself, perhaps go into Disruptors. That is the kind of unit that gives him enough volatility that maybe, you know, if Solar gets stuck on Roach tech for a little bit long or something like that, you can get a huge Disruptor shot and start equalizing things.
Yeah, I think this is the only out Reynor has in this entire game to have any chance whatsoever. And if Solar really identifies it at all and just adds on a Hive, I think that's probably it, done and dusted in game number 1. We are going to see Solar not only getting the scout into the natural wit on that robotics bay, but he's also going to be able to get quite a few probes in the main and a nice pushback on these Stalkers on the bottom side. Very well done from Solar, and he is just crossing his T's, dotting his I's. And he might not even go for Hive. He might look at this and say, I can still just kill you. I can still just go in and end this.
Yeah, especially, like, it's not too difficult. I was talking to Scarlet and I was asking her, how do I beat this sort of style from Protoss? And she was saying, once you get to enough Roaches, you add the Banelings in, the Baneling speed and whatnot, and you get maxed out. It's very difficult for them to hold off without any bigger tech, right? Which is very difficult to get to when you're going for this gateway focus style, for this blink type of style. So it's looking very, very grim for Reynor here, and Solar is looking for a finish.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be able to find it here, most likely. Now, I don't know that Solar's identified that there's a gold base, but doesn't even matter. He will scout the Colossus, and it is going to be Colossus instead of Disruptors, which I don't think is the right call necessarily here, but I've never beaten Solar with my Protoss, have I?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that there is a right call at this point, right? Like, it's just difficult.
Yeah. Caught between a rock and a hard place.
Exactly. So Reynor's gonna do what he can, but have the supply. His last base, his last remaining base is getting sieged. Then Solar is gonna take game number 1. Rather swiftly as well. I mean, just on the back of a couple of mistakes there from Reynor, right? Like it has to be said that the Oracle control wasn't there. There was a pause after, which has to make us think that there was something going on, like some sort of lag issue or some sort of hotkey issue, like you were saying, because otherwise you just don't pause, right?
No. Or you're trying to convince your opponent, you're like, I didn't just make a misplay.
I guess that could be the, yeah.
It's mind games and he's metagaming the broadcast. And there it is. There's the instant replay.
We got to see how fast the pause was to see if there was delay in the thought to pause or not. Oh, we don't get to see it.
He did the little head bob to the side.
I see,
so
I see.
yeah, it's hard to say, to be honest.
I see. If he did the head bob to the side, I feel like he feels like it was a mistake, right? That's what the head bob to the side says to me.
Probably.
Like that's what, you know, that's the gesture that you make when you're like,
You're like, I didn't see that third queen coming in from the side. Yeah. So he maybe just reached a little bit too far into the cookie jar. And Papa Solar was like, no cookies for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he was like, no, I wasn't trying to get any cookies.
Yeah, he's like, actually, I wasn't trying to get any cookies. The cookies were lag.
The cookies were lag.
I'm just saying, you weren't lost.
Yeah. I love it.
It is going to be Hecate for game number 2 here. And that is a map that is a lot easier to establish 3 and 4 bases as Protoss, especially, you know, once you get up to that higher tech, you start adding on Archons, Storm, Immortals. But will Solar let him? He did in game number 1.
Reynor Protoss GOAT said that sign, by the way.
Oh.
Is it true? I was trying to run that through my head as well.
Reynor Protoss GOAT?
It might. I mean, it's not an outrageous statement, really, right?
I mean, it's an outrageous statement conceptually, but when you look at
the results isolated.
You look at the results and you're like, who has beaten Cyril in the late game?
Yeah.
As a Protoss player, and you're like,
yeah.
Right. This guy spotting up in the top right for Basilisk. It is Reynor.
Bottom left-hand side, it is his opponent looking to redeem himself from the last 2 offline series that he lost to the Protoss of Reynor. It is Solar! Minsu Kang.
All I want for Christmas is another Protoss champion. Will it be Reynor?
Another Protoss champion.
And another one.
What's the other one?
Hero.
I guess.
Last time here.
Yeah. It was pretty magical, now that you mention it. It wasn't even Christmas back then.
No, but it did feel a little bit like a Christmas miracle.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bunny definitely had his Christmas stolen, though, last year. And we'll
this
see.
One. Or I guess this time he's still in.
This time he's still in. He's still in. Yeah, he could exchange his coal maybe for a stocking filled with $15,000.
That would be fantastic. You would love to see it.
I mean, the price of coal is, I don't know what it's like, but I don't think it's $15,000 per piece.
I highly doubt it. Reynor here putting his speed on full display as well, trying to be as annoying as possible with the probe. Look at that. Click, 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 click. Got him.
Oh!
Gotta be careful there.
That was a close one.
That was a close one. Knows to click away to his own minerals, and now he's back.
Oh, but Solar's right on top of him. He's not giving him much space.
Yeah,
and there's the damage coming in.
Real damage
but
is
he
taken.
gets away.
It gets away.
But
X-Drone, okay.
2 HP worth of damage to think about what he did.
Absolutely. I mean, at the very least, it's distracting. It's annoying. But of course, a player of the caliber of Solar is not going to care too much about it. He's pretty used to this from some of the best Protoss players in the world. And now we have a very standard opening here on the side of Solar. 2 links from the main, 2 links from the natural. So the 2 links from the natural are going to be tasked to shooing the probe away. The 2 links from the main potentially can make some space between them and these 2 links. But Reynor's too good, so he's turning around to make sure that there are 2 extra links, so that nothing sneaks past them. And now he turns back.
Very smart. Very nice little double check. Speaking of smart plays, Solar did something Dark does, which is where he faked Reynor out on the hatch block. Reynor was like, oh, you sent the drone to the third. Okay, I can go straight up into the main. And then Solar was like, psych.
Psych.
Huh?
Got him.
Got him.
All right, the Adept is going to shade in here as we aim high.
That we do. The U.S. Air Force bringing us this split screen. Both players exceedingly fast, far too fast for the human eye to follow. You know that you actually need to be a cat to see. Oh my God, we've got cats on.
Like you have to pick one side, right? I'm trying to follow both sides, and it's not working out for me. Can you?
I mean, I can't even follow one screen. I'm like, I'm lost.
Yeah, gotta aim pretty high for this one.
My vision is based on movement, though, and there is a lot of it, so I assume, man, they are really fast. Holy crap.
They are very, very fast players.
I was memeing at first, but like, damn.
No, it's wild. Oh, Probe will get picked off. If I saw that correctly on one of the screens. I'll follow the left screen, you follow the right. Never mind.
Oh.
Okay.
I can only aim high for so long before I get brought low by my slow eyes.
Absolutely.
God, can we get a round of applause for the speed of those lads? Jeez. That is impressive. Sheesh. We're going to see a few lings coming across the map. Going to be looking at 2 pickoffs and probes. Solar was able to get 2 or 3 probes on the transfer between those bases. And that is one of the things that you can... Oh! The Adept on Weight Watchers lets the ling into the main base. And, well, there's actually nothing to see. Wow, okay, that probe had a taser and a will to use it.
And it sure did. So no information really, or not much information gotten from Solar in that scout, as he does have 3 Adepts ready to defend his third. Deems them enough to go chase around and shoo away those links as well. And Solar with a Baneling Nest as well as, a melee upgrade.
This is very interesting. We are going to see a second gas coming on in. Solar, there is very high potential. So this is going to seem a little bit weird. Oh, the Phoenix. Okay, yeah, that's way too many queens. We are in the wrong neighborhood.
No pauses
Fellow
there.
Sky Tosses. No pauses there.
No pauses needed.
Oh, nice pick off there on another probe. You can see the reaction time was quick from Reynor, but Solar's still able to get the snipe down. Now, yeah, this is going to be an interesting thing because it's a commitment well before the melee completes. It is a little weird and it feels a little counterintuitive, but it can oftentimes catch your opponent off guard. And if it continues for long enough, that +1 melee can kick in and it can really get something done. Oh my God.
I guess. I mean, shouldn't you wait for the +1 melee at least? I think that you do at this point, right?
I mean, this is just day 9 mind games right here.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you gotta wait for it. I mean, the Banelings, they're gonna waddle across, I guess. I don't know where they're being morphed. If we can find them wherever they are, that would be wonderful. There they are. So they're gonna go into the main and natural, actually, looking to breach. There's only one Adept here. No Stalker actually on the side of Reynor. Needs Stalker warp ins. The Adept is gonna fall. And now everything gets in. Actually, this is looking dreadful for the Italian.
It is looking brutal right here. Already quite a few probes going down. He did get a good split on the probes in the natural, but the Oracles in the main base getting it on top of the... Oh, the Baneling! Oh, the split in the last second from Reynor. That instant reaction time. He aimed high and he shot higher.
He sure did. On the other side, it's going to be Solar that's going to be applying pressure to the third. There's extra Banelings here as well. Shield batteries are going to be gunned down pretty fast by the Circlings. No use of the Banelings necessary. They're going to look to collapse onto the Adepts instead. Great splits from Reynor to mitigate damage. Here is one of the Oracles that still has energy, trying to do everything that it can as the Stalkers try to plug the wall as best as they can. One of them needs to walk a little bit further up, but actually Solar feeling merciful on that Stalker.
Yes, that Stalker received a Christmas pardon. Very nice. That was a brilliant defense from Reynor. That was such a difficult attack to hold, and he managed it really well. If he was just maybe 1 or like half a second faster on the Stalker warping, he might have saved that one Stalker because, of course, it has less HP and it gains HP while it warps in. If he was, maybe just even a little bit faster than being the fastest player in the world, he might have been able to prevent that from becoming even a bigger problem than it was.
Yeah, what I kind of hate about that build, though, is like if there was a Stalker to begin with instead of an Adept plugging that wall, like what do you even do with Solar? Because this was best case scenario and Reynor's still in the game.
Yeah. I wonder if he looked at the Adept in the wall from early on and made that call and said, you're not going to sub this out for a Stalker. You're not thinking of this. And that's entirely possible, because that is the kind of thing that when you don't main race a certain race, you don't necessarily think about those very minuscule things. And Reynor is an incredibly smart player, and he has played quite a few Protoss games, but he may not have played, well, I would assume he probably hasn't played as many as the absolute other best contemporary Protosses in the world.
And you skip through a lot of the cheese and a lot of the bad builds, if you will, when you offer Ace at a high level, right? Like, you don't have to put up with like the us of this world that are looking to kill you at 5K with random stuff. Like, instead it's, you're playing players that know Baneling Bust probably doesn't work most of the time.
Yeah, no, exactly. You're not playing against players like us who it still works for because we exist on a ladder that is full of clowns.
Yeah.
And we are the ringleaders.
More or less.
Yeah. This is a nice transition from Solar behind this. He is still massively ahead, make no mistake. Colossus are going to try and come in from Reynor, and he does jump on these Banelings with the Stalkers, try to maybe bait them out. Oh, and he does! What? That is a very expensive loss for Solar, and now Reynor, even though he's very far down in supply, he's going to be able to hold it the natural, I believe. He's got the shield batteries to fall back on. Huge stasis ward.
Oh my god. I mean, this should have been all over for all effects and purposes, but after those Banelings all connect onto 2 Stalkers and that massive stasis ward, it looks like Reynor's gonna hold after all. That's wild.
The stasis wardies return.
The stasis wardies.
And bless Reynor in this one. And are we gonna see some force fields? We see a force field.
Yeah. A little late.
I was one of the force fields of all time, but we can't be perfect about everything. Yeah. Still, I am very impressed that Reynor's holding on, and he is starting to get towards that supply that can make a sustained hold. The problem is, even with all of that, he had to give up his fourth. And Solar is adding on a hive just now. He's got that +2 melee on the way.
Yeah, but that's late, right? Like, that's relatively late for the tech to come in from Solar. Reynor's trying to put on some damage with the Oracles on the other side as well. I'm not sure why Solar didn't just go in there as well. The door was wide open, but I guess he anticipated that Reynor could come back and kind of like close off the door on him. It seemed like a Colossus was exposed to me. Maybe there was an opportunity, but maybe not. And in any case, Reynor's going to be safe for the time being. He's looking to take a vertical fourth instead and work off of that, and I don't hate it. I don't hate his position.
No, it's considering how dangerous that looked. He's weathered the storm very well, but it is still going to be very difficult for him in this game. That fourth base, he needs to hold this one. If he cannot hold this one, I don't really see a way for him to keep things alive. Now this time, Stalker on the wall, shield battery, cannon. This Ling run by should not be able to get the job done, and that should allow for Reynor to focus on this one fight at the front.
Stalker on the wall has to be careful, by the way. It's sticking its belly out. If you look, oh no, never mind. It was tucked in now.
No, it was though. It was. I saw it. You're not gaslighting the audience. This is true.
It was.
Yeah.
So it could have been surrounded by Lings and taken down swiftly. Another pack of Circlings here is going to be taken down for free as well. And I mean, every one of these that gets taken down, the better it is for Reynor. Sure, there's Vipers on the way.
No.
Oh.
He accidentally just shot the pylon.
Maybe not.
While okay.
Okay.
That was a little unfortunate on the timing. That felt like an action movie where like a little old lady crosses the street in between the fight, and they like for honor's sake they stop fighting for a moment. Now Vipers are going to be coming on in. The fight has resumed. Will they be done in time to deal with this? You mentioned the lateness of the hive, and it is a very valid point. +2 weapons is done. There's a lot of Colossus. Reynor, if he decides to go for it, might have a bit of a time in it, but it looks like he just wants to force more and more Banelings out of his opponent.
Yep, and there's going to be Templars. I mean, they're being morphed into Archons right now. +2 is online, but it doesn't make a difference anymore. Not a big one anyway. So, yeah, +2 Lings used to one-shot probes. No longer do they do that. So, I mean, that's why a lot of this type of opening that Solar is going for in this game has lost a little bit of potency in the matchup. Regardless, he is teched up to Hive and getting Adrenal Glands for his Circlings. His army is still massive. And Reynor, I mean, if he can get the feedbacks on the Vipers, I still quite like his position.
Yeah, no, I absolutely don't mind it. Reynor doubling down on the ground army. I was wondering if you might have seen a Sky Toss transition. He is not going for that. He adds on 6 more gateways. That's going to bring him up to 14 gateways. And even another robotics facility. No storm just yet. but he is heading into the double upgrades as well, so he's going to look to complete his complement. And Solar, did he just cancel +3 melee? He did. He just canceled it and restarted it. Uh-oh.
Mistake go.
We had a little bit of an oopsie cleanup on aisle 3.
Yeah, a little bit of a big mistake there. And yeah, Solar continues to posture. Here is the Vipers, though, and no Templar here to answer with the feedback. That means both of the Colossus are going to end up falling. The Archons as well to follow. Oh. And I mean, actually, the Archons helping out the Zerg army as well.
Yes, they broke the force fields.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really massive pickup. Now, there is a counterattack on the other side of the map.
Looks
and
big.
that was that all of Solar's army on the counterattack?
It feels like it almost. I mean, a lot of blue I see on the minimap here as it tries to collapse. It's a very open area as well. So maybe Reynor should have been looking for a recall instead if he was looking for a retreat at all. Instead, it looks like a lot of his army is going to get surrounded and killed. And I mean, this could be game ending.
It is not looking great. There are 9 drones going down on the other side. Battery overcharge and a good stasis, turning this into a 1 force field ramp.
Okay.
And even though the Abduct grabbed the Colossus, we did see a lot of Banelings crash into it. I don't know how many of them died for that, but it was more than 0. I can tell you that for sure. Yeah. But we've got some Space Cows coming in, and they will be revealed. That is really good for Reynor that he sees this, because now he can start pumping double Immortal off of his, his double robotics facility.
Yeah, he was already doing that, it feels like, at least right before we saw it on camera, so he must have caught him a little bit faster. I'm not sure. The Phoenix is still alive, by the way, so much value on scouting the entire time. That probably gave him the information. Those Banelings, they could have had +3, they could be one-shotting probes. Instead, it's going to take 2 shots, but all the same, they're going to kill a lot of probes. Reynor is trying to hold the ramp here, and it looks like he should be able to, especially with the stasis.
Another little bit of an oopsie right there as the Corrosive Biles smash that Ultralist like you could smash that like and subscribe button on the ESL YouTube channel. We are going to see a big warping into the main base. A lot of drones being pulled. Lings, is there enough of them to deal with this? They are +2 Adrenal Glands Lings. They will get the full wraparound just barely enough. Zealot's going to drop down into that pocket base. And all of a sudden, where did Solar's money and army supply go?
Into Ultralisks.
Oh my god, is this the classic Ultralist into throw?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
in 2023 in this economy?
I guess so. I mean, you asked the question. We've seen where it went. It's the Ultras, right? They're expensive units. You got to get double upgrades for them. Each one of those Space Cows costs quite a bit, though 25 minerals cheaper than they did before.
That is true, but you have to wonder if that hurt their confidence. As we do see the Immortals, because now that they're worth less, are they worthless?
Yeah.
We are going to see the Stalkers and Immortals Archons pushing this back. Solar is weirdly kind of all in.
Nice. Yep, and this is looking great for Reynor. A couple of Abducts here, though, available from the Vipers, and they do pick off the Immortals, but to what avail? I guess there's another Ultralist coming here, but there's not enough to really capitalize off of the death of the Immortals, and now the Stalkers are getting a little bit more aggressive. Reynor with the supply lead and the worker lead as well, so all he has to do really is hold here.
Hold the door, Hodor. Can he do it? He blinks forward on top of the Ravagers. He will be able to take them down. 2, 3 of them going down. The counterattack on the other side of the map. Reynor takes game number 2. That felt like it came out of nowhere.
It did. I mean, it's like you said, it was very sudden, right? It looked like Solar was in control.
Yeah, I thought he was winning that series 100%.
It looked like it. I mean, the first Baneling bust looked very scary. Reynor barely survives, but it still looks like it's a playable game for both, right? Still Solar probably with, I don't know, 65%, 65 to 70% advantage or something off of it. And then it looked at some point like he was going to end the game, but those stasis traps were so juicy from Reynor. I mean, here's the initial Baneling bust here on screen. We see that the Adept holding the wall is not it.
Oh, that split. God, that was sexy.
Sexy indeed.
That was actually so sick, the defense. And that stasis ward, man, and you can see
20
why.
Banelings onto 2 Stalkers.
Yeah, not so great.
Yeah.
And I talked about it, he set it up, but Solar, it looked like he was going to be able to deal with that, but then he didn't have the shift command behind this. The probes did get kind of decimated here, but not completely killed off.
Yeah.
And you can see that, well, the buff to Reynor's main race Protoss has really come in handy here. The nerf to those +2 melee Banes, it's really helping Reynor's main race Protoss.
Yeah, I mean, in that last altercation that we saw on screen, it should have been one-shotting because he should have had +3, but he also did the
cancel.
Yeah, he canceled the +3.
It actually would not have one-shotted at that point because Reynor did have +1 armor and +1 shields, which any combination of 2 armor upgrades brings it back down to they can never be one-shotted again.
All right, that's sexy then.
Yeah.
In any case, we have Reynor coming out ahead, and we have a 3-game series to end the day, which is pretty hype.
Did I tell you I got my degree from StarCraft University?
I did. You did, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. I just wanted to bring it up again.
That's good.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Spawning up in the top left for Basilisk. He takes game 2 out of seemingly nowhere. It is the red Protoss player. He's Reynor.
And the crowd is about to go wild for the GSL champion. It is for Onside Gaming, Solar. No one goes wild, come on.
And the crowd goes... neutral.
Neutral.
Tell my wife I said hello. We are going to be seeing a... Well, this time Reynor's not going to fall for the shenanigans of Solar. He waits for a little while before he checks up into the main base. And I assume, because I've seen him do this actually to... Was it Mixu? No. Who did he do this to? No, it was to a Protoss player. He did it to Hydra, where he was like, oh, Hydra, you don't check that I actually took my 3rd base. And he did the proxy hatch Spinecrawler rush that Rogue did in GSL that one time. So he is going to check that, and he knows that you can check from the high ground.
Yeah.
Reynor, his brain is gigantic, and it does fit things like, how do I not die to cheese? Whereas mine is more like, I like cheese, the food.
I love cheese. It's very delicious indeed. Probe is trying to be annoying here, but it's going to have less room to be annoying actually with the placement of the spawning pool. Cutting the mineral line in half behind itself.
That's a cute little move. I like that.
Yeah, pretty cute indeed.
Yeah, it's kind of adorable, honestly.
It's a little bit adorable indeed.
We are going to see, of course, a standard opening from both players. No ability to go for this. We've got the... I wonder if that's the same probe from game number 2 that murdered the drone, or murdered the Ling that got into the main base, and it's like, oh, I'm back for more.
It's quite likely.
Die Hard 6, Probe's Revenge.
Here's that the Flying Shark as well on this map. It's only on one side. Ravi was talking about how he hates it.
I also hate it.
Really?
Yeah, no, the Leviathan, I'm just like, man, I don't have great reaction time. This makes me think an attack's coming. I see. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there's some automaton bots that look like probes and stuff like that. Those are far more annoying to me.
Yeah.
The Leviathan's cool.
But then we have the Tastelope and the Artosalope, and they're,
that's true.
Well, they're just welcome everywhere.
Yeah, they run super fast.
They do.
Yeah.
They are, for fight or flight, they chose flight every time.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice little job right here from Reynor. He hides the Adept in the back. Might be able to bait Solar into a commitment with the Lings. No, he's not going to do so. So it's actually Solar who kind of wins out and forces that Adept to stay at home, which is kind of cute. Kind of cute.
Kind of cute indeed. Second Adept has popped up, but still Reynor not choosing to move out yet. Oracle is about to go out as well. And this looks like the most standard opening that we have seen so far. No cheeky Phoenix or anything like that, just straight up into Oracles for the Italian Protoss player, Circ player, Protoss player.
The player formerly known as Zerg.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of a Prince reference for anyone who's over 60. We are going to see... I wonder if we'll see a third Oracle this game, or if he is going to just go for double Oracle and a very fast tech behind it. That's kind of been the MO. Obviously, it's different because he made the Phoenix as well, and that still does slow down your tech. Oh, can he get the kill? No. Nice quick reaction time from Solar. Able to get the Extractor Morph, and it will be another quick Evo Chamber out of Solar. Looks like he wants to go +1 melee once again.
Yeah, that's very interesting indeed. Good moves from Reynor as well to check the natural first, as that was the latest base to be taken. So the Oracle stood a higher chance of not being welcomed there by Queens. or anything like that, and maybe finding that drone popping up.
Oh, this is really interesting. We've got the Lings missing the Adepts, moving out across the map. There are two in the third, and he sees one at the natural. He is not going to expect his double Adept into the third. It's gigantic.
Yeah, and I love that he's going with the Oracles into the main as well. Now dragging back into the Oracle, into the Adepts. I'm not sure how much I like that, but now the Lings are back as well.
Oh.
The Adepts and the Oracle combined did find 4 workers all day, and now the Adepts are looking to shade into the rest of the Queens and combine their forces with the Oracles. There's so many freaking Queens.
Oh, he transfused the wrong drone. He guessed incorrectly, and Reynor, that's really great. 6 drones right there.
Yep.
That's quite nice, and he keeps the Oracles alive. It is, in fact, the triple Oracle setup. That was a really cool mind game from Reynor to make not, you know, 3 Adepts, 4 Adepts, but to go for an extra one and really sell that. That was cute.
That was really cool. And yeah, I mean, the timing favored him a lot. I felt like that could have even gotten more done, but he's going to be pretty happy about 6 drones at this stage of the game.
Yeah, I think so as well. We are going to see the blink coming in. Oracle's finding another bit of damage. There's still no Spore in the natural, and with 5 Queens relatively close, that feels like a pocket was picked right there. This damage is starting to rack up, and you can see why Solar was so aggressive in those first 2 games. Reynor, his Protoss is pretty darn good.
It is pretty great. And Solar invested a lot into Queens as well, and it's not like he's going to put them to great use, at least not for a while, right? Like, it's not like he was going for a Queen Roach all-in or anything like that. Instead, he's going to be dropping a Spire. He is getting Roach speed behind it as well, but he's looking to be cheeky here more than anything else.
Yes, this is absolutely a little bit of cheek. You might even say it's cheeky Kalaris. This is cute, and I really love the positioning there on that third base. There's a very good chance that it won't get scouted, but if there is a chance to scout it, it's actually pretty high right now with the Oracle's potential pathing. Oh, does snipe down another 2 drones, but he won't be able to get a scout. Now, really good Protoss players are great at revelating every base, but there's just so much creep to try and find the hidden Spire. And of all the times to bust out a surprise Spire, this is a phenomenal one.
Yeah, and it's in the most inconspicuous location ever as well, right? Like, if you were to revelate the bases, I'm not even sure that you would catch it every time.
Really
but
see
here, he like barely misses it too, though. He sees it.
Oh, the drone goes into the gas, full betrayal mode.
Wow.
Oh, that was 1 pixel away from not being scouted. That's so good. He starts up a Phoenix.
Nice.
He is going to be able to be, you know, well, he already actually had a cannon at this base. And at any rate, he's going to be able to make sure he has cannons in every base, shield batteries in every base, stalkers in position, and he's going to be looking to revelate those mutas as they pop out. But I think, did he recall the Oracles?
And it's such an edge case as well. Like, it's so difficult to know that it was, you know, it was seen by 1 pixel.
Yeah.
That Solar also commits for the muta because he
this
thinks there's a good chance that it wasn't seen. Yeah, like, he has to think, okay, I'm getting away with it, or at least that there's a high chance that that's the case.
I would have thought that would never have been scouted. Absolutely. That revelation looked like it was from so far away.
Yep.
But Solar is going to run into quite a few Phoenixes now. Reynor has stopped Phoenix production at 2, restarts it now, but this is a lot of mutas. Solar still could get a big find here. The shield battery and the cannon were just a tiny bit late. Lings do have +1 melee. They're going to try and find a couple of stalkers in the middle, but there's a really nice safe zone there. This is looking like a great defense from Reynor to start things off, and with the number of mutas he's seen, he is very close to being able to commit to a second Stargate and a Fleet Beacon for that Alien Pulse Crystals. But it looks like, big jump on top of Phoenixes. Will find one of them.
Yep, I guess just not anticipating it. And now Solar moving into Corruptor, so he's gonna double down on the air and try to break Reynor here. It's a difficult decision. If you're Reynor, you really need to anticipate what's going on, and like you said, probably just throw down a second Stargate, start getting that Fleet Beacon, and start really taking the muta and the air seriously here.
He's going a different route and adds that second Forge. He wants the armor upgrades in order to make the Stalkers, A, more survivable, of course, and B, to really mitigate that splash damage on everything, the bounce damage of those Glaive Worms. But, I mean, this is still looking very scary. The funny thing is the small number of Phoenixes forcing out the Corruptors is actually, I think, very good. That's a blink forward, though. I do not like it.
I do not like it at all. Yeah, that was kind of random.
That was really overly aggressive. Even without the Lings there, the mutas are still able to get a very cost-efficient pickoff setup.
Yeah, if it was a blink forward that he anticipated would kill like 2 Muta and you instant recalled or something like that, I would like it still not much, but I would like it a little bit more than just sacrificing all your stalkers. So yeah, that was kind of random. This blink forward much better though. And on the other side, Solar is trying to make things happen, but at the same time he forced so much static defense that that's gonna buy Reynor a hell of a lot of time to react.
And it looks like Solar might have overcommitted with the Mutas for a little bit there. Reynor is going to be able to push this back with the massive amount of static defense he had on that fourth. Phoenix is, no, he's gone a little bit too far with the Stalkers. He will have to recall. It's a snap recall, and he will save a fair number.
Yeah.
Mitigates what could have been a disaster, but that was a very nice pickoff from Solar. And Solar, even though he committed hard to the mass mutas, got that +1 air, he continued his melee upgrades, he started up the Baneling speed now, and he is going to look to hit with a massive hammer blow. But Reynor is starting to add on Archons. That's going to help a lot on the defense.
Yeah, that's going to be massive. I mean, they're excellent against Muta, and they're excellent against Banelings. They're not bad against Roaches. Archons are just kind of a beast. And here come the Banelings here. They're trying to blow through the static defense. They're looking for the probe line. We'll see how much of it they can find. The Colossus is being microed like crazy to try to get as much value as possible.
Oh, the Banelings get some massive connections.
Yeah.
And that is going to be very difficult for Reynor to recover from, but he will be able to still stay on 4 bases most likely. Good War Prism micro so far. He says, this looks fun. Let me give it a try. And he is he's doing a great job with it. Oh, he needs to save the Colossus, but he does lose it, and he loses the 4th base too. He just actually didn't have the units. I thought he was going to be able to save it, but the reinforcements from Solar were great.
Yeah, this looks very, very difficult for Reynor. Now, he has a little bit of a bank as well. The next set of Warpins maybe can enable him to take a 4th, but Solar will have another punch ready very soon here as he's now gearing up to take his, or gearing up already halfway done into his hive. But like I said, he's getting ready for another 1-2 punch here. He has a lot of Banelings morphing. He's making a lot more Lings, a lot more Roaches. And he's saying, hey, you want to try to take a 4th? Go ahead and give it the old college try, as they say.
Yeah, and he says, I'm going to give it the old college deny. Nice Stasis Ward grabs a couple of Ravagers, but the other Stasis Ward will get taken down by a Corrosive Bile. Lings, Banes, Ravagers on the attack here. Force Field's not going to be able to do too much. The Archons can soak damage, but the Probes are in trouble. Oh, we are going to see them trying to get up into the corner, but they are going to take some massive damage. Oh, these Banelings!
No!
It's a trap!
Not like this!
Boom! Goes the dynamite, and we are going to see this 3rd base fall as well. There's 3 Colossus. They will survive, but we're now looking at a double supply lead. Solar's on 6 bases. He's got a hive, 4 Vipers coming on in, and he is looking like he is going to take a little hop, skip, and a jump.
See the head tilt.
Oh, there's the head tilt. Hop, skip, and a jump. 2 rounds ahead. Very well done from Solar. Reynor, he's just coming to terms with it, I think, at this point.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, he's on 2 base at this point. Solar on 6. This game is over. Yeah, and Reynor really doesn't stand much of a chance. He does have 3 Salos on the other side. Gonna give it the old college try again.
Solar honestly played such a great series here. Reynor, I'm very impressed that he was able to do anything in game number 2. In game number 3, though, I actually think he was in a better position going into the mid-game, but the Mutas got just enough damage done to kind of slow down the Archon transition. They pulled him around a few times, and Reynor wasn't quite fully prepared for that switch back into Ravager Ling Bane.
Yeah.
And yeah, it crushed through the 4th base. We are seeing Reynor continuing to try his darndest, get some nice feedbacks, but I mean, he only has the 2 high tempo. There's still at least 2 abducts ready to go. This kind of feels like, you know, a mouse fighting Mike Tyson.
Sure.
And Mike Tyson finally crushes the Christmas mouse.